Let's get into the voicemail. By the way, you can always leave me a message 24/7 by dialing 510-343-3640.
Hey, Brody. My name's Joe. I've been a diehard Sharks fan for 12 years running, and I'm from the East Coast, Massachusetts. And I just really wanted to hear your thoughts on these new digital ads on the boards, because I got to be honest, I just cannot stand them, and I can't get by them. They are distracting. They take away from the live play, and I think they take away from the magnitude of the game. I mean, I try to flip on the game, and I try to watch the game, and I can't because I keep getting torn away by these advertisements that, you've got the Sharks on a power play, and while the power play is going on, I'm trying to watch the power play, we've got Toyota trucks driving across the boards, we've got slot machines on the boards while the play is going on. And that to me is just like, it's so over the line. Like if they were just still pictures, I could probably see past it. But the fact that they're like moving animations, I mean, it just takes away from the live play. I can't believe that the NHL would go that far. I can't even watch the games anymore. It's just so sad. I love the Sharks more than anything in the world. I haven't missed a game in 12 years, and I just can't watch the games anymore. It's just too distracting, and it just doesn't feel like it's very sad. And I just really would love to hear your thoughts on that. And yeah, I really love your stuff, and I love what you do, and thanks for being a Sharks fan like the rest of us. And thanks for taking my call.
All right, Joe, I appreciate that. Quite honestly, I can read your passion. It came across quite well. And this is what everybody's talking about, the Digitally Enhanced Dasherboards, which debuted this season. Maybe you can't even tell, but it's just the fact that the boards are one big advertisement. It's not actually what you're seeing in real life. These are ads that are superimposed over the existing dasherboards, and it's that seamless. Like, does anything look funny to you right there? Does it look fake? Does it look artificial? I mean, that to me was a Sharks game. It was the home opener this year. It looks pretty real. Like, you can't even tell if you don't actually know what you're watching for. Yeah, until you see it animate and stuff like that. Joe, this is a tough conversation for me to have because in a way there's a conflict of interest. I work for a broadcaster, not a team or the league, but somebody who delivers this product, and there are sponsors, and it's all tied into one big thing that I'm a part of. Now, I'm not the one selling these ads. I didn't create these. I don't directly make any money off the sale of ads, but yeah, I work in the business. So you understand all of this would be easier if I just said nothing about it because, hey, I don't want to rock the boat. But in reality, I'm here to tell you that I actually prefer these digital ads over the old static way. Now, I promise you, like, again, if I didn't feel that way, zoop, I would just zip the lips and not say anything. But I actually like them. We'll explain why in just a second. But I first need to, share this, that I have an indirect connection to all of this. So I feel like some people are going to say, well, you're just coming on here to defend it because somebody told you to. No, it's actually my preference. And I also realize that it's not everybody's preference. So I'm not trying to sell you or anybody else on these digital dasherboard ads. I just want to get my 2 cents in on why I actually prefer them versus the old way. It's that I prefer the uniformed approach, right? First off, if you look at games from the 60s and 70s and even early 80s before there were advertisements on the boards, watching those games back right now on television, it feels weird, right? Everything looks naked and empty. We got accustomed to advertisements all over the boards in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, and beyond. And we got used to, just the decals. I don't know how wide they are, maybe 10 feet by, 3 feet high, however tall the boards are or the ads are on the boards. But the thing is that I think when you look at the old way, how it was and how it actually still is, by the way, with the naked eye in real life, the boards look kind of like a phone booth, right? And there's probably, let me just do the quick math, probably something like 24 to 30 advertisements on the 200 feet of dasherboards inboard to inboard, right? Like there's a lot of different ads for a lot of different companies. Sometimes they're repeated, like on one side of the ice or the other, but it is kind of like a phone book. It's very busy. And so what I prefer on television, and I'll talk about the animation part of it in just a second, but at least it's one uniform advertisement the length of the rink while it's on. And I believe, I don't know this for certain, I believe like every 30 seconds, it just automatically changes whenever the play is or wherever the game's at. It changes on a timer, maybe not necessarily like on a whistle or a stoppage of play. But it's that uniformed approach for me when I'm watching that it has my brain doing less thinking. Like my brain is actually, even with the animation, it's less distracted because I know that one ad is for one company and it's encompassing the entire rink. And once I glance at it, when it changes, okay, now I'm done glancing at it. We're done. I saw it, but it's just one uniform thing. And so I guess, again, that's me and my brain and how it works. That's the reason I prefer this versus what we used to see on television. And I really want to make clear, animation is the adjustment factor here. It's not that you're not used to seeing ads on the boards. Now, in the last couple decades, you're very much accustomed to that. And actually, if you watch European soccer, it used to be on actual like LED screens on the sidelines, on the pitch. Like they would have animation, the same thing. It would encompass the entire field, the pitch. But it's the animation part, I think, is new for us. It's old for them. They've been doing this for, I want to say at least 15, maybe 20 years now at this point. But it's just that there's movement to it. And it's computer generated, which are the parts, and actually you really can't tell it's computer generated. Now, I have seen some of the mess ups where the technology went wrong. You know, it was very clear it was flickering, or like a referee was skating past something and then the ad was on them. Like it's worked like 99.9% of the time. So that 0.1%, when it doesn't work, you're clearly going to notice. But again, I think what most people are adjusting to right now when they say they don't like this is animation. Like that's the factor of, oh, this is different and this is going to take some time. But I have to say, like the tech is pretty solid on the screen. You've got players wearing two different color jerseys. You've got referees. You've got other people skating in front of, the ice crew and whatnot, skating in front of these superimpositions. And this is not like a green screen technology. You don't have all the ability to superimpose like you would in a television studio. You really have to make this work on curved surfaces. You have to make it work where doors to the benches and penalty boxes open and shut, where players are jumping over the wall and to come on and off the ice. So this is not what you would call a clean key. In our business, a key, like a super, I don't want to get into that. That's TV talk. But you're chroma keying something, or you're luma keying something, or you're matte keying something. And you want the cleanest key so that you don't see edges and you don't see rough spots. This is a very, very difficult key to make happen with technology and television. And I'm critical of it as anybody. Like I have an eye for things on a screen. I have an ear for things that are broadcast. Like I'll catch everything, every mistake, every mix, every, color that's wrong or right or whatever. But I look at this pretty critically, and the tech is quite solid on this. I got to tell you. And I don't know how much they rehearsed it or where they practiced it or where they dialed it in and got it right. But, for this starting off for the first full season, they've largely got it quite right so far. So yeah, that's what it looks like. Joe, going back to your, I'm sorry to hear that it's been that adjustment for you and that it's made it difficult to watch. Stick with it. Obviously, you love the sport. I mean, to the extent that you called in here to leave this message to get my thoughts on it. Maybe you wanted me to agree. I'm honestly not trying to be the contrarian here. I'm not trying to protect anybody. I'm just trying to be honest that This doesn't bug me at all. I'll tell you what it reminds me of is when arenas started to go to that LED ribbon, around the second deck, the second bowl. All the arenas did, pro sports across North America. And it's like, wow, that's a lot of lights surrounding me if I'm, sitting halfway up the first deck. But here we are 15, 20 years removed from that, and we're totally used to it. At first, it's just a little bit, shocking to the senses. So I guess that's probably the takeaway here. Give it a year, give it a couple years. You'll look back and think this was silly that that this shocked me so much. But no, it's also understandable. This is a change, and changes take a little bit to get used to. So, Joe, thank you for the voicemail, and thank you to anybody else who's going to call in 510-343-3640. Any topic, anytime.